Yeah, there were, I think, so one of the things that stands out to me about your birth is that when they said it's time to push, it was this transition, right? Of like, your body's opening, your cervix is opening, and now we're in a space now we have to do something different. Now you actually have to like push. And I don't know if you remember this. We actually like asked everybody to like leave the room.
I remember that.
Do you remember
But was that like, wasn't that later?
Mm.
When do you remember that happening?
I remember that. Right. Which one of us remembers?
No, because I blacked out. There are points to my memory in the delivery that I don't remember, but James will bring up or you will bring up.
This is why we need James to come in. Because I think I remember that was at the very beginning, and then we also had another time where like we needed another minute. I think I remember that.
So they came in and said it's time, and then I was like,
they checked your stomachs. Yeah, you were just kind of like, oh, okay, like this is like you like got a little bit nervous at the very beginning of like pushing. So we said, can you give us something like we want to like get into this transition, like just more grounded, right? Because we were resting, we were moving things, like things were happening, and then now like okay, now you're 10 centimeters, like okay, like now baby's going to be here, and it was kind of like we did like a grounding moment of just.
See, I don't remember that. That's I'm so glad you're here.
That is. That's also interesting, like what we remember and what we don't.
Yeah. See, it's like for me, like that 5 hours, like I thought it was like 1 hour. And then there's like I said, pieces like missing.
Yeah. There were moments where like in the pushing, like we had this moment where like we had providers leave, everybody leave, and we prayed too. That which is like all three of us, like you prayed, I prayed, James prayed, and it was just like this really like holy moment. I think that I always get chills when I think of it. We need tissue boxes next time. Because it was such a holy moment. I think I came home and I was just like, yo, that was like the craziest moment for me, right? Like, because it was just so sacred, right? Of like, I think we knew the weight of what was on the other side. It was like babies coming on the other side. Like a whole, I know, we're not going to make it. And, I did makeup and everything today.
I was telling my patient, it's okay to cry during sessions.
Right. Please cry, right? Please cry. Yeah. But it was such a sacred moment of, and having the team to be like, okay.
Oh, that's what I'll say. When it comes to like my positive birth experience, like the pushing got stretched out longer than expected, right? It seemed like everything was going good. For some reason, baby was like not progressing past, what was it, like stage 2 or something?
Yeah.
She wasn't moving. And, in those times, the first thing you're going to hear is C-section. Yeah. I did not want a C-section. I was very firm. I do not want a C-section.
Yeah.
The care team, they brought in the second doctor for a second opinion, and I remember him. I don't remember his face. I think I just looked at his like knees. I remember him sitting in front of me. Mm-hmm. And when people like sit low to make you like
like they're trying to meet you where you're at as opposed to like standing on top of you. Mm-hmm.
The other doctor was a little bit concerned, so she was like trying to get him to like talk to me, and he was like, wait, she's working. And he like waited like I don't know how long because I don't know.
Yeah.
But he like wanted me to like finish. Like I was trying to push. I was doing all the exercises, and he was like, let her finish. Like she's trying, let her try. And he was just so sweet and like patient and had such a like just a soft presence.
Yeah.
I just was like, I'm not having a C-section.
Yeah.
And they're like, we have to, like, we don't want the baby's head to like to start swelling or anything.
Yeah.
So they told me about the vacuum as an option.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the time they told me about the vacuum and the time they were trying to get me to look at other options, like the Pitocin wasn't working. Mm-hmm. It actually was like really right on time. And it took me some reflection to like really come to that conclusion because at that time, all that energy I had been like spending, like which was really like full on, like it was full on like doing exercise. It was full on like doing
it's a lot. It's labor. It's a lot. It's a lot. Pushing is intense. Yeah.
I hit a wall. I wasn't expecting to hit a wall. I was feeling good, and it wasn't like my energy slowly tapered off. It was like bam, I'm tired. I'm out of energy. Like I remember my butt hurt, my butt muscles hurt.
Yeah.
Like I could just feel my muscles like literally just like I don't have anything else. And so at that point, it was really hard, and that's where you really came in as like the strongest point that I remember for your advocacy, where I was like, I'm tired, like do whatever, and you're like, no, Neda, what do you need to make at least like one or two decisions? Like we're not just gonna throw all this up in the air. And so they ended up, we did actually kick everyone out.
We did. I think this was the moment as well. I think we did it twice. We were like, again, please.
There were so many doctors and nurses who kept coming forward, which was amazing, right? As a Black woman delivering my child, I appreciate that every single resource was brought for me. I truly do. But I was also overwhelmed, and there was a lot happening, and I needed to lean on my family with James, and I needed to lean on you to help me like finalize those few decisions. So I said, I need to clear the room. I need like 5 minutes.
And they were like low key nervous because they're like, we're in the middle of pushing. What do you mean, right? Because it's
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because it was like, okay, we know at the beginning you could be like, before we start pushing, can you leave? They're like, yeah, we can. At this point, they're like, oh, okay, yes, this is what she needs right now.
Every single clinician,
everybody, like, even the nurse. I remember the nurse being hesitant, because it's like
she was so sweet too, the little blonde one. Yes. She was really sweet. She was very nice. But they all left. They gave us those few minutes, and it was really like helpful for us. I'm gonna say as a family, because I really do consider you my family, Nisi. Just to kind of like get on the same page.
We're not gonna make it.
We're allowed to cry, okay? So we all got on the same page. We decided to go for the vacuum. The doctor did make me aware. She's like, we're gonna try the vacuum, but if the vacuum doesn't work, we are gonna have to just immediately go for emergency C-section. So they did come back in when we were ready. They did do the vacuum. It was difficult. Like it was very difficult. I think my exhaustion, along with like the discomfort of the vacuum, was just like two things.
And the part of like, if this doesn't work,
I was just also over everybody. Like I was over like being like, if you're in the doctors, it's like people touching you and things like that. I was like, I'm over. I want to get done. But she came out. She was beautiful from the first second. Her head was kind of cone shaped, but came back. A little bit. You'll never know that now. I also remember the student. Do you remember the student in the room? There was one student.
There was. And you were okay with the student thing in there, right?
Let me tell you, I actually don't like students in my healthcare anymore.
Really?
But he's always the exception. And even in my memory,
you're right. And I think I remember, like, I was trying, and you were fine with him. First of all, he was a guy, right? So I was like, how do you feel about that? And it's a student. And, we talked about this, like, and you were like, it's fine.
He was okay. Like, first of all, he held my leg up for like hours.
He did.
He was so supportive. I also think the clinicians, so usually at this point, I say no to students being in my healthcare. Because it's not the students that I am concerned about. It's more the clinicians. I think they have a hard time. I find that they have a hard time splitting their attention between me, the patient, and also seeming like they're on top of things to teach the student.
Right. And so you had that, right? You had that in your prenatal.
I had it a couple times. Yeah. And I was just, so I usually say no. But that student he's special. I always like say a little like blessing for him.
Oh.
Like, I hope he's doing well. I did have like stage 2 tearing, what do they call it? So they were stitching me up. I didn't feel anything. I took all the drugs possible.
They help, especially, because stitching is also intense. You feel it, the burn.
I did not feel it.
You didn't, right. That
and I was really grateful. But there was a mirror on the roof, on the ceiling, and I was just holding the baby. And like I remember being happy holding the baby. I think I was trembling from like the hormones. But the student was like, can you feel anything? And he was watching them like stitch me, and I was like, no. And he was like, can you see? And then he got nervous. He saw the mirror, and then he closed the mirror because he wanted to make sure I couldn't see.
I remember that.
It was like just a small moment. There was so much happening in the room. We counted 12 clinicians in the room at the end of my delivery. And like I said, like, yes, it's overwhelming to have that many people, but also like as a Black woman and knowing about how we are often treated, and as a Palestinian woman, seeing my people with literally desolate, like there is no healthcare system. So being in that space where I'm like having every single clinician there, every single resource is something that like, that is where I really walk away saying I had a positive birth experience. Like, I think the team did the best possible work that they could for me.
Yeah.
And my daughter's perfect. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Don't give me any evil eyes, guys.
Yeah.
But
no, she is. She's great.
Yeah. So yeah, we did it. And then I was like nursing. She latched on real quick.
Yes.
Oh, that was so special. The golden, what do they call, golden hour?
Yep.
And we're holding her. I immediately wanted to nurse her. You were telling me to wait.
Yeah.
Why did I have to wait?
Because it was this thing of like nursing, it's its own other thing that happens. And sometimes like the baby might not latch right away, right? Because your baby's transitioning, you are as well. So I was like, just take it in first. Just take it in so that you know, you will. Was this the dietitian out of you? Like,
it was just like, so, you know, one thing I'll say is being a new mom is very animalistic. And I don't mean that in like a negative way, but it's like you really go back to nature.
Yeah. Your primateness.
It felt so like, like nature was guiding me. Like, no, this baby wants to eat. Like, we're gonna feed her. And I wanted to feed her.
And I was like, don't.
And I was, yes, I was thinking about that recently. I was like, why did she say to wait? Yeah.
And you're like, just ready. And she was, right? You know what, Jula, hold on. I feel what I need, what my baby needs. And
yeah. So she latched really quickly. And then we were, I don't know how long. I thought we were nursing maybe for a couple hours. But once again, my time.
It wasn't a couple. No.
I feel like we were there. Everybody was in the room.
Yeah.
And then they left. And then before we transitioned to the other room, was it not a
so like they did all the vital signs and checking on baby like while baby was on you.
Yeah.
And I think that this is the part that is so cool is that like you have like high levels of oxytocin, right? This is why you don't remember because you're supposed to forget, right? It's this thing which is so wild that like once that baby is there, like everything else is like secondary. You're like, what is it that happened, right? It's because you're just like in this space of like this bubble with you, and your baby, and yeah. And so, but they did everything, they did everything. With
I don't remember anything that they did.
That makes sense. It wasn't important.
I just remember holding her.
Yeah.
And like looking at her beautiful face and just being like, oh, this is like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed when they first put her on me.
Yeah.
I remember being like, I need a second. But it quickly transitioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I did tell them, I was like, give me my placenta. So I didn't encapsulate it that time.
Yeah. Where is it? Do you still have it?
Well, we actually buried it in my backyard.
Did you?
I was just like, you're not gonna Henrietta Lacks. I know I have good genetics. Like you're not. No one's getting you.
Give it to me. It is mine. I
said, it is mine. It will be in my backyard.
100%. I know that's right. I know. I'm always like, take your placenta.
But yeah, so I stayed in the hospital a little bit longer. I was uncomfortable postpartum with the tearing. I think that was like the hardest thing for me to navigate.
Yeah. And
that was a bit of a long-term like struggle for me because I am someone who really loves their vagina.
Yeah. As you should.
You love my vagina.
Yes.
Excuse me. And I was like nervous. I was, it's like you don't think about your vagina, your sexuality, like all that. But then all of a sudden it was like I had a tear and I had never like, it was my first delivery. So everything is new. I'm not like, I'm just navigating through it. And I was like, am I going to be able to be like intimate comfortably again? Is this going to heal? Like, it did.
Yeah.
It took a little bit of time. It took a little bit even longer than the doctors had told me that it was going to take. But I was consistent when I go. They gave me like, most follow-ups is like one follow-up, right?
Yeah.
They actually gave me like 3 or 4 follow-ups.
I love that. Isn't it crazy that they do one postpartum?
That's insane.
Isn't that crazy? And that's part of it when we talk, Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
And I just kept also like, I'd say, make sure you advocate for yourself. I just kept telling them like, I'm uncomfortable. It doesn't feel like healed when you touch it. It hurts. And then I put like the nitrous oxide on it to break down the scar tissue. But I think just like speaking up about it and not holding back, like the doctors and the nurses were like, oh, okay, like come back. And then, now like sex life is great.
I love it. Yeah.
Vagina's looking good.
Yes. I love it.
I was surprised. Like, you're like, man, the whole baby came out. Like, so it was a little scary. But now I'll say, like, after everything came back, there was a 1 year time period where people would be like, when are you gonna have another one? I was like, don't even talk to me.
Crazy. Is that crazy?
I was like, I'm still like physically healing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You look great, and I think it's important to ask moms, like, you can look great, you can be glowing,
Yes,
doing your thing, but I still think it's important to ask moms, how are they feeling?
Yes.
You can say, hey, you look great, but how are you feeling?
That part.
Because I think, like, there were moments where I looked really great, but like the hormone fluctuations were happening.
Yeah.
And like, I had my therapist who was on deck, and she was great.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted to ask you too. Like, tell us a little bit about postpartum, right? Because we plan for birth, because yes, it's this big thing, but postpartum is longer. Postpartum is forever. Yeah. Tell us what that planning looked like for you for your postpartum season.
I did have baby blues. The first night, I just had fat tears.
Yeah.
And I was just but I'm so happy.
Why am I crying? Yeah.
And then I think maybe the second night too, I was like, James, I'm happy, but I'm crying, but like, can you come and hug me?
Yeah.
So say what you need. Postpartum, I have generalized anxiety. I know that about myself. So I really made a point to do as much chest feeding as possible.
Yeah, you didn't pump, right?
I really didn't. I put it off as long as I could.
I remember that.
Because I wanted that reaction response with me and the baby, and I wanted to support myself in kind of navigating or reducing the risk for anxiety or postpartum. And I think that helped me a lot. But I have the privilege of having a flexible schedule, and I I was home, even there's multiple pieces that were in place that made things flexible. And then I had my therapist on hand, and I had my one really great piece of information. My advice the OBGYN gave me was, she said, at my first appointment, she said, get a therapist, get one now, and so that you have a relationship built with them before you need them.
That part.
And that was a game changer for me. So that therapist knew me really well.
Yes.
And then by the time I'm going through my postpartum and stuff, we already had a strong rapport to navigate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did have I did have postpartum, and there was I think it was tied a lot with the healing and the intimacy adjustments. But it was really helpful that James had gone to all the classes and had knew what to expect, and kind of knew what to pause and be like, hey, what's going on, and we could check in. And even when I did get snappy sometimes, or your behavior changes, there was a time period where he was like, you just talk to me like you hate me. I was like, I don't hate you, but I guess I'm navigating all this. And then I feel he was like, oh yes, okay, this is not you personally having anger towards me. It's your body adjusting to all these different things. So it didn't seem like he took it personally, and he recovered really quickly from that. But it took some time. It takes some time to settle in. I think it took me a year before I started feeling like my self again. Yeah. Not my old self, but myself, a new self. And then there was around that year and a half phase, I wasn't disgusted at the idea of having another child. Okay. Yeah. At first, people I'm get the hell away from me. And then it was baby. Yeah. And then at 2 years, I was like, my first one's big. I need another. Yeah. And I'll say this, I also, even early postpartum, navigating how I felt about my delivery plan. We have done the plan, and I think I held guilt because a lot of the plan we had, it kind of went to shit. And I was really attached. I was really attached to that plan. I've decided to release that. I think things happen the way they needed to happen for us to both be healthy. What was I gonna say? But one thing I was I would have gone through my delivery 200 times over to have my child. Wow. The way within 48 hours, just the way I loved her and just look at her, I'm it's worth it. Let's do it. Let's do it again. We're doing it again. We can do it 200 times again. If this is the outcome, it will be worth it. So, and that's why we're doing this again. Oh my word. No, thank you so much for sharing. I think, this is the beauty of it. We have to hear, everybody has a very different story, right? Everybody's, and there's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of
pivots. And there's also this moments of like after of processing, like, was that a positive birth? Wait, did that right? Like that took a while for you to even process that. Like, I don't know, how did I feel about that? And being honest and being honest with it, right? It's not always going to be like at the very, baby's born. Yes, this was the best birth ever, right? Like that's not always how it works.
Well, you said it to me, like, because if you go on like social media and look up positive births, you'll see these very like I don't know, curated videos where it's just like music and a nice filter and maybe animals in the background or people's kids, and it looks so peaceful.
And not animals in the background.
Yeah, there's literally animals in the background. Let's go. Nice aesthetic. I mean, and it looks, I don't know, but you always have to remember social media isn't real.
Yes.
It only,
that part.
You only cover like the highlights, which is beautiful, and I give power to those moms for like recording those moments in a way that they feel good about. But I think like just having to separate from that and be like, okay, but this is the whole reality, like.
Right. So what does positive birth mean to you, or how do you define it? Talking about your story, and then what advice or what affirmation do you have for the person listening?
I would say positive birth for me means like having all the resources. And I really like, especially in this time and place, 2025, as a woman of color, like we need like just getting in those spaces where you have the resources is too much of a rarity. So try to get, if you can choose a hospital that has more resources or is like going to treat you well, make sure. The first thing I did with my OBGYN, it was a group. There was a few doctors I met with. The first one who sat in front of me was a white woman. And I asked her all the hard questions. I said, what are you doing for the maternal health crisis? I wasn't expecting to like move forward, but she answered all of the questions the right way, and I like really gained my trust. And I was like, this practice like that had gained my trust. Clearly they were doing the work.
Right.
And so ask the hard questions. Don't be afraid to make them uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, like the doctors and things work for you. They're getting paid. Even if the money's not coming out of your pocket because you have good insurance. They're all getting paid. So
right.
Ask the tough questions, and then like really advocate for yourself. Like let people know like what you're going through. Don't be embarrassed. So like talking about like my vagina and my intimacy, like that's not something you normally hear me talking about too openly. But it was necessary.
And we need to hear that more, right? There's like some, we talk about even like the female body, right? We don't get to hear these things. And I'm like, our kids, you're going to hear it all. You're going to hear about the breast, the vagina, the vulva. We are going to talk about it because we need to be comfortable in it so that you can then advocate for yourself when you're like, something is off, right?
And like bring your partner to all the classes too. Like really have them sitting with you. Breastfeeding would not have happened without my husband being well educated on it. Breastfeeding is not free. And there's a new, there was a research article put out about it, I think last year. But let me break it down. Breastfeeding is not free in terms of a human being only has so much energy in the day. When I'm contributing like 500 calories to my child, where is that coming from? Yes, I am eating slightly more, but it's also taxing on me. So when I'm lethargic, when I'm like sleeping more, when I just need to lay on the couch, like my husband realizing like, oh, it's because she's spending so much energy like breastfeeding, and I was only breastfeeding, I wasn't using formula. That way he was like, okay, I know what's happening, it's not personal. I can like support. I'm a spiritual person, so let's like leave it to God. Just ask God to help me like finish things through. And all I wanted was a healthy, happy baby, and that's what I got. Thanks, Nisi.
No, thank you so much. And I'm very honored to be part of your birth story. Like for me, like I do not take these moments for granted because I know how sacred that space is, right? And like I saw a quote and now I run with it. I'm like, your birth team matters more than like your birth plan, right? Because those are the people that
I truly
right. You're like, yo, like. The birth plan, I know the birthing center I teach at, they call it birth preferences, right? Because we know that birth is going to look different, right? We know that it's going to be pivoting and flexibility, and we want you to have your birth plan, right? You have to have your birth preference because we need to know what it is that you want, because what you want is going to look different from the next person, right? So because there's empowerment in that. But that birth team is going to make sure that even when things pivot, right? Even when they put C-section on the table, we can say, all right, let's try this first, or let's do this first, because we know what it is that you want. So I'm always honored to to be part of that. And I know that it's like really special. So thank you so much.
It's so special. And like also to all the women who are like, or people, because people having kids, you know, like you can choose different things than me. Like don't feel, the most important thing is like you are in a happy position with your decisions. So those were mine. It has nothing, no shade on anyone who chooses something different.
That part, yeah. Well, thank you for coming. Listen, we will be back next time. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm so grateful for you, Neda.
Oh, I'm so grateful for you too.
I don't feel like.
Sorry, we went way over, right?
Because we don't know, and you know, that we're going to be pushing for 5 hours. We don't know that. You know what I mean?
I did not know that.
Like, right. And that is like a whole another, we're about to like witness life on the other side.
That's the craziest thing. And I was like, I made a human. Don't ever, like, anybody ever question me the fuck again.
Like, first of all.
I was just like, I remember James's mom one day, she came over. I had like these Arabic cushions that I planned on putting on the roof. And I was like, oh, I'm going to take them apart and put them together every time. She's like, that's a lot of work. Like, you must be strong. And James was like, Ned is the strongest person I've ever met in my life. We just always...
Yo, James don't play with nobody. James don't play. Don't talk to. Let me tell you about my wife.
I always would say like that. Like if anyone questions, like, no, Ned is the strongest person I ever met in my life. Like,
look, and we're both crying. Yo, listen, James don't play.
I know.
He'll go back. He will. We will. I want to definitely hear like his side of the story because we have to hear about that, right? We have to hear. Let me take a second and share with you about the Doula Guide Bundle, something I created after 10 years of supporting families through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. It includes the same step-by-step tools I use with my clients to help them feel confident, prepared, and grounded. So you can grab the full bundle or get them individually down below.